So we've built our module skeleton. What are those main units or weeks that we're going to use? We've imported some content from the resource courses that our teachers have built, or from Commons in general if you're in another district. Well, now we need to actually structure our modules or our units, whether you're using the week by week model or the unit model. What are those common elements that you're going to have inside your unit? So let's talk for a few minutes and then I'll show you some things. So the first thing is that just because we're distance learning doesn't mean that we're excused from doing the things that we need to do as teachers. We need to give them new content. We need to push them to think. We need to give them opportunities to explore on their own. We need to give them opportunities to demonstrate their knowledge to us. In other words, we need to present, we need to assess, we need to do both formative and summative assessment. How often you do those things could mirror what you did in the classroom. And so maybe you gave a unit test and it was once every 3 weeks. Maybe you gave a weekly quiz and so you do it every Friday. There can be some mirror. You just have to think a little bit more strategically, realizing that not everybody's going to be able to do it at the same time. And so build that into your course so that certain things can be done synchronous time and certain things can be done asynchronous time. But the more you can actually think about what that unit looks like or that module looks like, with both the asynchronous and synchronous times built in, then every week or every unit, you just duplicate that module or duplicate that template that you've created, and you can just start plugging the things in. The more patterns really that you can establish, the easier your job's going to be, because you're going to have a lot more stuff to do with distance learning than you would in the classroom. Everything has to be prepared in advance. You can't just say, hey, let's stop what we're doing. We're going to pull out scissors and cut stuff. Okay. And this goes for really any grade level, but definitely in the upper middle school, high school. So let's look at some examples that come with the template that we have as a district, but many templates would have out there. So I'm just going to go over the unit version here. But again, there's the week version that you can look at also. And these are just some suggested types of tasks that you can have. But really, I want you to focus on those first tasks and those last tasks. Okay, that this unit doesn't have to happen in 1 week, 1 day, 3 weeks. Okay, it depends on the amount of content that I'm doing, and so it's okay to chunk it into smaller units so that you know that students can get it done quicker, having more often assessment, that kind of thing. But, having that first introductory topic or lesson, okay, how are we introducing our unit to our students? And are you doing that in asynchronous way that you're going to do it over a Zoom session? Are you going to do that over I think I said asynchronous. Are you going to do that in a synchronous way through a Zoom session? Or are you going to do that in an asynchronous way where they're going to watch a pre-recorded video of you introducing it? Are they going to read a text? That kind of thing. How are you going to introduce it? And so on this first one, there's just an example of essential question in the lesson overview, and it's just a blank template. Okay, and so you can pull stuff from the resource course to put in there, or you could add your own. And feel free to edit these things. Is that these icons are all available on the icon page. And again, just like we did the buttons, you can copy and paste them just as long as it's in there. But I encourage you to use icons to help students pick out, like, what are those common things, essential questions, discussion board, quizzes, so on and so forth. Use good icons. My video keeps dying on me today. That's okay. And so let's go back out to the module. Here we go. And then how are you going to present the information to them? Are you going to, again, have them watch a video? Are you going to have them work through a PowerPoint presentation? Is this async or synchronous? Okay. And so you can give clues. So for example, I might say the word sync right before this. And so that's just letting everybody know that this is going to be a synchronous time, whereas in this right here might be an async. And maybe I could even use some emojis. And so, for example, I have another, not this one. right here. This is the second grade ELA resource course that was put out, and I love what they've done. Fantastic front page. Okay, you can find this in the comments if you want to steal some good ideas. Bitmoji. They've gone with a Bitmoji banner, but it's an image. It's not interactive, which is wonderful, which means it's going to load nice and fast for the students. They don't have to worry about looking for things. But what I wanted to show you are their use of emojis. So looking at the book here for the overview of the reading lesson, because it's a reading lesson. The stop sign to show when the lesson will stop, and I'll come back to that in a little bit. Using the home emoji for asynchronous work, and you see how she actually split this into like the sync stuff and then the asynchronous work all within a single module. That's great. Okay, and I think that this might even just be one day. It is Monday's lesson, and so that'll be a lot of modules, but it's one way of doing it. Okay, so going back over here, so just how are you going to structure this? Play around with the different things. What I would suggest also is that that you put a page right there at the front, and maybe it's just on your lesson overview page, but spelling out what's going to be synchronous and what's going to be asynchronous. And so let's say that we'll just do this right here in the lesson overview. Edit, and I'll come back and edit this in another video, but let's just put under here. I'm just going to say what's our learning plan or schedule. You can use a wide variety of words. Whatever you use, you should use the same word over and over so that your students know what it is to expect. And then I might put under here and just say, I'm going to indent a little bit, go in a little bit, sync. I never know if you do cinch or sync, but I think it's sync. And then I might go ahead and put some bullet points of specific assignments. So by the way, if this happens right here, you can grab the indent to bring it under there if you want to. And I'm just going to go into course links. And I might find an assignment that, okay, this is going to be, we're going to do a discussion. And we're going to do this assignment template, whatever it is. It didn't load, but you can do a couple of those. Trying to copy it. Copy, paste, paste, paste. So you could put a number of those, and then you could have what is expected of them in async. Okay, and you can just build a simple template here. Okay, I really like the squares. I'm not a big circle person. I like the squares, and you can then put in what is their expected. Course links. And I know I'm moving a bit quickly on this, but I think that you're getting the idea. And so maybe there's that async tab. So that's one way that you could do it. You could tell them what is going to be sync and what's going to be async. And that still allows them to then go with as long as those items that are there are also the items that are in your module, it allows them to progress with the next, which is important. Now, I want to point out, like this page right here, what you see is, just like I've done in the Canvas training course, is using icons to identify, just like the ELA course was showing, using icons. These are icons, though. These are not emojis. So these are the ones that are built in the class, but using specific words. So what are they going to actually do? What's that action word? They're going to read, they're going to watch, they're going to write, they're going to brainstorm, they're going to group think, they're going to Padlet. I don't think Padlet is a verb, but they're going to Padlet. Whatever. And then we'll do a post or I'll do a video on how you can structure things with good text headers and stuff like that. But what I wanted to point out before we finish this particular lesson about structuring your unit, setting up what your typical style is, and it doesn't have to be the exact same things each time, but you should do a typical style, is you need to make sure you have some way of assessing them. Maybe you're using an exit ticket and you're using a Google form. Maybe you're doing an exit ticket and it's going to be a Canvas quiz. Maybe you are doing a little writing prompt at the end. Whatever you're doing, you got to assess them, both formative assessment and summative assessment. But when you're building your modules, they need to know where to stop. And so let's say that I have this unit and there's 30 things in here. That's okay, but they need to know where are they expected to stop on a specific day. And so that's one of the things I loved what the second grade team did here. And you could do just a huge stop sign, get one from Flat Icon if you want, just choose the free resources. She used the Bitmoji version of herself. What I would say is I could see that she's recreating this page, she's duplicating it. You could save yourself a ton of time by just having a standard one and inserting it each time. So if I have a standard page that says stop, and it has, maybe I have the emoji, whatever, I can put this, okay, I want to stop there. And I'm not duplicating the page. I'm actually finding the same exact page. Ignore that. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. I'm actually, come on. I'm going to refresh it. I'm actually going to put the same exact page. Let's see. Page. Whoop, going a little bit fast. Sorry about that. Add item. And I might drop that several different places. And what that means is that I only have to maintain one stop page. I don't have to create 50 of them. And that just tells the students, stop, you're done with today. And maybe I put on there, stop, and now it's time. This, look at the next page for asynchronous learning or something like that. Okay. So put a lot of thought into how you're going to structure your modules before you just start pushing content in there. What is the process that your students are going to go step by step? Okay. There we go.